a series about people joining an online community called The World and participating in an MMORPG where several mysteries surround several key characters. Putting aside the more recognizable MMORPGs on the market today, Dot.Hack was definitely my first experience with them, and my first simulated experience with them. The first time I encountered Dot.Hack was through its first anime series called Sign. It was more of a drama than anything else, but it drew me into the universe that had been created and saw that online gaming was just as much about creating relationships as fighting monsters. A year ago, well, I say a year ago, but I really mean 2 years ago because I wrote this script a year ago, I recall discussing that a long-awaited Dot.Hack game on PS3 was being released alongside a new movie. I was happy to hear that the last-gen consoles were finally getting an updated experience, and I could return to the world that I had not experienced since the PS2 era. Returning characters, online play, teaming up with friends to take on a dungeon. It all sounded like it was going to be a blast. Well, I guess we'll have to keep waiting because what we got was Dot.Hack Versus. Before I get into that though, I just wanted to quickly go over the movie Beyond the World, since it hasn't been released in English and probably won't be. Taking place in 2024, nearly every teenager plays in The World using face-mounted displays, a la Oculus Rift but much sleeker and easier to wear. Except for 14-year-old Sora, who comes from a strict household and hasn't ever played computer games. Unlike everyone else in the world, apparently. One day, she reluctantly tries it, and is sucked into having fun with friends and finding the joy in gaming. From there, you have the standard Dot.Hack tropes like virtual goddesses giving certain powers to certain characters, and viruses that go out of control. Overall, it is quite well done, with fine voice acting, lots of little nods to the way things play out online sometimes with newer players and veterans, plus graphics that look somewhat like I would imagine they would on the next-gen consoles, PS5, Xbox 2, and so on. There are a few references to past characters and designs, but outside of that, it's a fun movie that builds on the mythology of the world. Saying all that, Dot.Hack Versus is also a beast based on similar prospects. It's about building on the world rather than being what you think it's going to be. Flat out, this is a fighter. That is it. No MMO elements, no RPG elements. It takes a few key characters that were present across all the series of Dot.Hack and has them fight it out bare bones linear one-on-one mode. The story has you take on the role of someone in front of a computer screen, constantly shifting between the arena and the message boards in order to progress the story. At the beginning, your characters are limited to only a couple, but as you complete the tasks and challenges, more will be available to you, which increases the options you have during the following boss fights as to how you approach them. Outside of that, it is very linear, and it's just about constructing the further narrative of the universe. As for the characters, you have 8. That's it. From all the many series and literally hundreds of characters to choose from, they whittled it down to 8. All are available from the get-go, but 8 just seems a little weak to me considering the vast mythology of the series. From Sign, you have Tsukasa, Black Rose and Kite from Infection, Hasio and Ovan from GU, Sakuya from Quantum, 9 from Link, and Sora from the new movie. Some characters show up as supporters such as Hermit, Balder, and Gondo, but other than Hermit, they all just become part of a character's attack animation and have no larger impact on the game mechanics. The first opportunity for a Dot.Hack fighter on PS3, and you didn't include Subaru, Balmok, Shino, etc., I could go on, but I could be here for an hour. The combat itself seems familiar. Yep, the game pretty much plays exactly like the Ninja Storm series, which is unsurprising given that both were created by CyberConnect 2. I understand they would take a format that works and run with it, taking the combat they developed that worked in the past and applying it to another series, but since they would not have had to work on the combat mechanics as much, you would think they would put a little extra time into fleshing out the story or adding some more characters. Each character has their own fighting style, with 4 being very distinguishable and 4 being nearly identical. Tsukasa is a long-range spellcaster, Black Rose is a short-range power hitter, Ovan is a mixed power hitter but is slow as hell, and Tokyo is a fisticuff quick hitter. Sora, Kite, Haseo, and Sakuya are pretty much the same dual-blade quick hitters. What distinguishes them from each other, however, is their ultimate modes. Each character has an ultimate mode, which is either time-based or stays active until they're knocked down. Each has varying effects, from summoning a support to help, increasing power, speed, changing a character from short range to long range, or even stopping time for a second. Some modes even carry over between rounds and stay active, but have trade-offs in exchange. The ultimate modes and attacks are the most interesting and spectacular parts of the game, although they may be a little too easy to pull off and can give one character way too much of an advantage if they have early access to it. Several other mechanics in combat include hitting the opponent into the air and pursuing them to land some more blows, spending some SP to fire out a shockwave that sends the enemy flying away and getting you out of a combo, and all special attacks being mapped to simple L1 and a face button. It is a very simple control setup, but it lends itself to the chaotic action that sometimes plays out, and managing your SP poorly can lead to some close calls. Through completing fights, you rank up on the fake leaderboards, which help you create a fake profile with a fake wallpaper and see a fake message on your fake message board. All this simulated interactivity makes me just wish we had actual online presence, but given the dead online mode, you can't really expect to find anything beyond the story mode here anymore. There are several unlocks like character models, voice clips, sounds, wallpapers, and trophies, but nothing that I would really bring you back after the main set of challenges. It's a 5-hour experience if you want to accomplish absolutely everything. But if anything, all it made me want for is another actual Dot.Hack game like the ones of the old days. Maybe one day. Maybe. So, good things. It is based on a fun, fluid combat system. It's easy to pick up and play, and it looks really good, with character models almost matching up to the standards of the animated movie. However, much like Ninja Storm, it's not the most balanced fighter in the world, where Tsukasa can just stand on the other side of the arena and fire fireballs the whole fight. Sora's level 3 power-up basically makes him uncatchable, and Sakuya's little cat friend helping her so often that it basically becomes 2 versus 1. There are hardly any characters, hardly any stages, linear story, and dead online mode. However, it is a fun game at the end of the day. If you're a fan of Dot.Hack and have always wanted to see certain characters battle it out, then I would recommend you pick it up for a low price. It may not be the deepest game in the world, but I certainly prefer it over nothing.